we are north of Lisbon in Portugal. What we see lots of are really old windmills. I think these trees are pines. It looks like a lot of the trees that we have at home. Well, we're in a grape growing area. This is a medieval town of Obidos. Well, here's the walls encircling Obidos. Now, this place has pretty substantial walls. Over here's an aqueduct. Here we are at Obidos. We didn't get to visit the town of Obidos because I didn't realize it was pedestrian only and the parking lot is not secure and on the edge of town. This isn't Obidos, but it is a cute little whitewashed town. Just saw 3 old people getting water at a pump.
110 meters, then
out in the Portuguese countryside, there are grapevines, there are lots of white houses, there is a narrow 2-way street. Now, solar water heaters, olive trees.
enter roundabout, then take second.
This is the first hotel we stayed in Portugal on this trip, and it was rebuilt in the 1800s, but I don't think they've redecorated since then. Now we're in this very old hotel, and here's our room, a little bigger than the one on the ship. Nice wardrobe over here. Over here we have a view overlooking the gardens. And the bathroom is very, very large. Old-fashioned tub. And way down here we have the bidet and the toilet and a full-length mirror. This is the Prince Pedro, who later became king, and this was his mistress, who he spent time with after his wife died, but his father didn't think too highly of her family and had her murdered. So after he became king, he had her dug up and crowned queen, and people had to kiss her hand that had been in the ground for a few years. Here's a very nice little lounge where we had some drinks before dinner. Here's a nice dining room where you could eat inside or outside depending on the weather, and there was a very nice selection of Portuguese wines and ports. Well, this turned out to be an absolutely beautiful stay. Wonderful dinner, nice breakfast, beautiful old palace. There's extensive grounds, a lot of which have been donated to a garden club for public use. Over here is the very modern wing and spa. Here comes my chauffeur in his BMW with a very uncomfortable passenger seat, but we're going to see if we can fix that. Nice little garden here, and there's the formal dining room where we had a very delightful dinner last night. There's the only rose I've seen blooming. It's a very pretty pink one. And this was a chapel at one time. I don't know, maybe it still is and they have weddings here. There's a military museum, and we're going to the Palace Hotel, Bucaco. We're calling it Bucaco, in the middle of a Portuguese national forest. And we are on cobblestone road. Here's the entrance to the hotel. Well, here's a pretty cool building as we leave, because they wanted €5 just to drive in and take a peek at the hotel, so we left. The farmers routinely burn their fields, and we saw many of these fires throughout the countryside. This is the hallway to our room. This is our room across the river from Porto. I think we hit the jackpot with this one. The whole hotel is a wine-themed property, since that's what made Porto famous. Here's the TV welcoming us. This is a very nice shower with, look at the beautiful inlaid Portuguese tiles. Here's our own private little balcony overlooking this side of the river, which is Novia Via de Gaia, and across the river is Porto. Yesterday they said it was raining here, but today it's beautiful. These little boats are replicas of boats that were used to bring the grapes down river in the past to the wineries here in Porto. Now we're about to check out Porto. From where we are, we must remember that what goes down must come up. The hotel is up there, Cobblestone Street, and right here is Taylor's, our very first port stop. So here we are inside Taylor's. Cute little table and stools. Okay, the English tours are not convenient, but we've been on a few wine tours. So we have a white port, a 20-year-old tawny port, and vintage port that's dated 2011. Outside here, oh my, there's 4. These are azaleas that they've pruned like boxwood to make a hedge. These azaleas are naturalized. Here's a nice garden area with a weeping willow and chairs and tables for people to enjoy their wine. Well, the peacock up here has decided to show off. Yeah, turn right around. That's your rear end. Now you keep turning around, we'll see your front. There you go. I don't know what you're having a fit about, but you are showing off your feathers. One right here in front of me, just sitting here under the roses in the shade. I think there's a couple babies in here. A white something or other. Here's a beautiful, huge old camellia, and the wisteria is blooming above the doorway. How nice. And in the summer, this whole area is probably covered with an arbor from these grapevines. Well, after some port, we're headed down to the river level.